Alright, today I'm gonna paint Arden for all of you. No jokes, no gags, let's just do it. Ah, there we go. Did a pretty good job if I do say so myself. Way back in the original Choose Your Legends poll for Fire Emblem Heroes, only 3 characters made it into the top 100 that originated in Genealogy of the Holy War. Now that's not surprising, given that FE4 was Japanese only and it wasn't really well known in the fandom as it is now, but the 3 characters who made it through the language barrier must have been pretty big deals. I mean, Sigurd making it in was to be expected. He's the protagonist. Protagonists tend to do pretty well on popularity polls for any game series, really. And Ira's the hot sword lady. Again, a very popular archetype among fans of, I don't know, literally anything that's ever existed. But sneaking into the top 100 was Arden, whose popularity bucks most every trend. He's not attractive, he's not a good unit, he bears little to no plot importance, so why was he so popular? Well, let's look into him and see why Yggdrasil's greatest bench warmer is such a big deal. Arden first appears at the very beginning of FE4, as he's part of Sigurd's 4 knights watching as Ljungby is overrun by Verdane's army. The literal first thing said about him is mockery, as Alec teases Arden for being strong as an ox, but slow as a turtle. A comment Arden takes offense to. However, at Sigurd's request, Arden remains behind at Castle Chalfie while Sigurd leads the charge against Verdane, though Arden expresses a desire to be taken out fighting next time Sigurd goes out to fight. It's a scene that immediately makes him kind of endearing. It's clear that he's the butt end of many jokes, and you kind of feel bad for him. But you'll quickly find that his request is very difficult to actually fulfill. See, Arden has the lowest movement in the entire game, and FE4's maps are infamously the largest in the entire franchise. Now with infantry, FE4 normally balances it by making infantry units either more powerful than their mounted counterparts, or by giving them a mount after they promote. Ivor and Holn are sword infantry, but thanks to their skills, weapon ranks, and stats, they're usually much better combatants than Alec or Noish. Latchis is both a poor healer and a poor fighter, but her promotion gives her a mount and a plethora of stats to go with it, making investing in her a worthwhile thing to do. Arden doesn't have either of those things going for him. He doesn't get a mount when he promotes, and he also doesn't do his job particularly better than anyone else. He has natural tank stats with good HP and defense, but Quan joins right alongside him with a mount and very comparable bulk. Hell, Quan even has better growths than Arden too. Simply put, Arden requires a very heavy amount of investment to be mediocre. Not even good, just mediocre. And the low end of mediocre at that. So why then do so many people try to use him? Why is Arden such a beloved unit if his quality is pure dog water? Well, I'd like to say it's because he's so bad that he's so beloved. See, I think that every person is, at least a little bit, a contrarian. If we see a sign that says, "Don't step on this grass," every person gets a desire to step on that grass. Some get a bigger desire than others, but we all have it. So when the game itself tells us, "This dude fucking sucks," we have an innate desire to tell the game to go fuck itself, I'll make it work, and then put all of our energy into making it work, no matter how much of a fool's errand it is. A lot of shitty units like Arden, Amelia, Meg, or Sophia have such strong followings because we like to see them prosper when all odds are stacked against them. So Arden has that going in his favor. It's also more applicable to Arden because the game says it, not other people. Someone like Amelia or Meg gets bashed online, but you could easily just tune that out. Arden is bashed by the game itself, so even someone with no connections to the fandom can get that feeling of endearment towards him. Another note about Arden that I want to mention is his character design, and that's the fact that he is probably one of the ugliest characters in the entire franchise. Sure, there might be some ladies who dig a man with a lump of moss on his head, but put Arden next to every other man in the series, and he's really only going to look good next to, like, Gonzalez. But that helps him in my opinion, because Arden's lack of anything really good going for him is exactly what he has going for him. His stats are bad, his class is bad, his looks are bad, but in spite of all of that, he's still trying and he's still fighting. Among all the holy blood-powered warriors in FE4 with earth-shattering abilities, Arden is just a dude, a normal man swept into the chaos that is Yggdrasil, and that's really what helps endear him in my opinion. Alright, so I'm gonna try to speed paint Arden again. I messed it up in the opening gag, but I think I can get it right this time. Alright, there we go, that's right. Have you ever thought to yourself, golly, I have way too much money. I need to lose about $3 to $7 a month. Well, have I got something for you. For as little as $3 a month, you can become a patron for FEMS Paint, which will score you benefits like early access to videos, or, for $7, the ability to vote on polls for future videos. Next episode will have us going back to FE6, so give me money right now, and you can choose which Binding Blade character will be on the channel. My patrons include the likes of Andrew Crockett, Arctic Dusk, Atomic X160, Don Juan, follow Penta the North Star on Twitch, subscribe to Great Riek, Green Brigand, Hell on Heelys, My Anus is Bleeding, Keithan Coleman, Kieran Morin, Lightning Bolt, Me Do a Gamer, Memi, Mesomementomia, I pronounced that wrong, we're still going, Michael Hamilton, Nevrix the Fallen Shield Guy, Ranger Man Sam, Ryan Walter, Space1255, Steph D, Tato, Watch Pete Pure or Nem Will Eat You, Anti-Ginger, Brentendo11, Dell, Drew Hack, Kazu Foxfire, Max, and Sazegi. There's also an FEMS Paint Discord, so if you like hanging out in a server, come on down to that too. We have fun there, I swear. Anyways, back to Arden. His unit and character design aside, Arden does have a few scenes in the story to enhance his portrayal. For starters, he has a little cutscene with the Pursuit Ring. Arden's taking a stroll down the beach, lamenting over his lot in life. He's upset that he's not as strong or not as charming as everyone else in the army. He thinks that if he had the power of double attacking, he might be able to get a little bit of respect, maybe even get himself a pretty lady, but he accepts that he is who he is, and that he just has to get back to the grind. Again, the game itself is telling us that Arden's not that good, and even worse, Arden himself recognizes that he's not that good. It just serves to endear Arden to the player even more, and it makes us happy for him when he gets that very coveted pursuit ring that actually helps out his combat potential. Well, you know, until we make him sell it and then we give it to Lewin, or maybe we give it to Evelyn to pass down to Leaf, but hey, it's cool for Arden while it lasts. He also has an event in Gen 1's final chapter if he's paired off with someone. I'm personally an Ira X Arden fan myself. It's not a very long event. He just finds what I can assume to be a secret book, and gains a magical surge of skill from it. But it does have a line about him putting his family first, and not wanting to die on them. Now, not only is that line really sad, knowing what's about to happen in, 20 minutes, but it's also a reminder that Arden is just a down-to-earth family man. He doesn't have some grand ambition or backstory. He just wants to protect his loved ones. A simple goal for a simple man, and again, it's easily relatable and makes him endearing. Kinda like a giant 7-foot-tall teddy bear that weighs about 500 pounds. Arden also has lover conversations with Ira and Aranis, both fairly minor, but enjoyable nevertheless. Both have him lamenting over his poor mobility in the Yeed Desert, which, to be fair, no one moves across that desert very well. You can just ask Quan and Evelyn. Aranis wishes she could ferry him across the desert, but sadly, rescuing wouldn't be invented in Yggdrasil until Thracia, so he just has to grin and bear the desert heat on his own. Aranis tells him not to go off and die on her, and he expresses that he has no intention to do so. He wants to move to Salice with her and start a new life as a veggie stand owner, which she expresses happiness in the idea of. With Ira, the two more so are coping with the desert by flirting with each other. Ira remarks that Arden is very manly with how big and tough he is, and Arden loves how womanly Ira is. a sentiment Ira kinda laughs at, given how distinctly non-feminine she is. Arden expresses his love for her anyway, and he's so direct and earnest about it that Ira's taken aback. It's just a cute little scene for him. But we all know how this story ends. In a blaze of glory in the Battle of Valhalla. There, Arden meets his end alongside Sigurd. And he definitely dies. He doesn't somehow sneak away like Ideen or Brigid. He doesn't have some crazy, he's just a statue in Yeed conspiracy like Azel or Lachis. He doesn't even have enough respect to get pseudo-revived by a god like Lewin does. He's just 100% bona fide dead. It's a tragedy. A man who was mocked for most of his life, meeting his end just as he was starting to get the respect and appreciation he deserved. But that's FE4's first generation for you. It's a cavalcade of tragedies and mistakes that really makes everyone's story so endearing. We all love ourselves a good tragedy that makes us cry real tears for weeks. We're kinda masochists in that way. Arden might not be a tragedy as grand as Sigurd or Eldegin or Quan, but yet again, that's what helps him out. He's just a normal man caught in the crossfire of a greater conflict. And the fact that his tale is so insignificant in the grand scheme of things is just what makes him who he is. His plain look, his plain combat, everything about him just makes him plain to us. But the fact that he marches on in spite of that is both endearing and kind of inspiring. If Arden has the grit to walk out and march every day, in spite of everything going against him, you can too. We can all learn a thing or two about what it means to be strong and tough, especially from the strongest and toughest man of all. Thank you all very much for making it to the end of another character analysis video. Arden's always been a favorite of mine, so I hope I did him justice to all you fellow Arden fans out there. I'd also like to thank the Green Brigand for his help, looking over the script, giving his advice on some of the memes I've made. It's always a pleasure to have him help along with the videos. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the video, fuck. You know what, normally this is where I ask for likes and shit, but that's too good not to leave in. Also, join the Discord. You're seeing some funny images from the Discord right now, please join in. And, remember to pray for Arden. He died for our sins, and that sacrifice shouldn't go unremembered. Till next time.